Weekly BLT updates. Of course, we know these are troubling times that continue across our nation, but we have hopes that level heads will prevail. As Americans, we are resilient. We rally to the cause even in our darkest hours. The call to freedom and justice resonates clearly, especially after a holiday weekend celebrating the dreams of Dr. Martin Luther King, who often quoted from one of our founding documents that we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. So as we enter into a new year, with the nation reeling from medical, political, and economic tension, we remain hopeful for a better tomorrow. Part of that rebuilding starts at home, with workforce development and creating new job opportunities for all Tennesseans. That will be a major focus of both the governor and Labor Commissioner Jeff McCORD, who's joining us today on Bltv to give us some updates on this new initiative. So welcome, Commissioner McCORD. We hope you had a great weekend, and I know we have many challenges ahead of us in the year going forward. So I know you and the governor have rolled out the Jobs for Tennessee initiative, and so I'd like for you to explain a little bit to our listeners today just exactly what's going to play out with that new program and what we can do locally to benefit from it.
Yes, sir. Thank you. And first of all, thank you for having me here today. I know you and I talk and have visited more than a few times, and I greatly appreciate the work that you do and the work that's being done at the county level. That's actually where we make things happen. So thank you for that. And if it's okay, I'm going to call you mayor instead of county executive.
That's fine. Everybody still does.
Okay. Thank you for that. And Mayor, let me start with this, where we are and then where we're going. Where we are, we have had a major disruption, obviously, in our workforce, in the way we go about our lives, in just about every way that we can see that happen. It's incredible to think that in the last 9 months, 10 months, over 1 million unemployment insurance claims have been filed in the state of Tennessee. We never thought that sort of thing could happen or would happen, but it's where we are. And now there's no use in lamenting that. It's about getting on and moving from that to a better place. And part of what we know is that a good job not only promotes economic prosperity, but also improves health outcomes, also improves a person's confidence, improves all aspects of someone's life if we can move them to a job. And with that in mind, we are at the Department of Labor and Workforce Development, our focus not only just in distributing unemployment insurance benefits, but also moving people to employment. That is our primary purpose, and it's never more important than it is right now. And you mentioned Jobs for Tennessee, and Jobs for TN actually is a website. It's where 1 million Tennesseans have interacted over the last 10 months in terms of unemployment insurance, but it's also a place where nearly 250,000 jobs are posted in areas across the state, and where a person can really basically get connected to a better life in a more stable existence, in a way to help not only themselves but the state recover from the upset that we've had. I'll walk through a few things. That Job for Tennessee site, jobsfortn.gov, is the site, and that is one aspect. But across the state, there are right now hundreds of job fairs happening so far this year. Hundreds. There's another branded Tennessee Talent Exchange that you can Google and find fairly quickly that matches people with immediate needs. So if one industry is suffering, for example, the service industry, other industries may have employment there, and it's a quick and easy way to match people with positions. We also have, for the first time ever, we have information going to Tennessee Higher Education Commission from those who are on unemployment, so that we can see if there's an opportunity for them to participate in Tennessee Reconnect, which we've never done before, and it makes a lot of sense to do. And so there are actually hundreds of thousands of people who can improve their skill sets, who had unemployment insurance benefits through connecting with Reconnect, and not only find a job but also move up and build those skill sets. We also have what we come to call as a Faith in Jobs initiative, where the department has reached out to faith leaders across the state. We know the process, they know the people, so that we can rally not just state resources, but all of our resources to connect people again to meaningful employment. I do want to point out a couple of things. We know that there's jobs and there's people, but they don't always match. There's some skill set development that needs to happen, or there's some rounding off of whatever skill or competency they may need. And we have, for the first time in Tennessee, we started about a year ago with a statewide apprenticeship program, and that apprenticeship program has more apprentices currently in it than it's had in a decade, and probably more than ever. Our data just goes back a decade. So that program is continuing to grow and continuing to move people not just to jobs, but to a career path where they can get paid as they work and continue to learn, so they can get more and more income as they progress. And so those, Mayor, are just a few of the efforts. This is not a silver bullet problem or situation. We have to have more arrows in our quiver than just one or two initiatives. So we have multi-layered initiatives that we're connecting with our folks in our counties, so that we can execute those and really give the opportunity to Tennesseans that they've come to expect, and honestly that they deserve as well. So let me take a breath and see if I'm gonna let you talk just for a minute.
Okay, and a year ago, when I gave my State of the County address and the governor gave his State of the State address, it looked like full steam ahead. Robust economy, low unemployment, the future looked very bright. It only shows you how one crisis can turn everything that you do and accomplish upside down in just a matter of weeks, if not months. And so I know it's going to take some time to rebound and to rebuild and to reconnect displaced workers with the jobs that are out there. And even though Tennessee is still growing, we still got people moving here, we still got people investing here. It is going to be a big chore moving forward, making sure that the right people get the right jobs at the right time and place for all of us. And, rural communities, I know it's been a focus both on the Department of Labor and Workforce Development as well as the governor. And so we have appreciated the investments and the partnerships that the state has made in our community, from everything from our, Drive to 55 Robotics Center to our Megatronics program, which has received funding, to the GIVE grants that connects our TCAT and our CTE programs at the high school. They've all been winning formulas for rural communities like ours. And we appreciate those partnerships and collaborative support efforts that we have made over the last, and the progress that we've made over the last few years. I know one question that gets sent to my office a lot, and as you said, county governments, county mayors, we tend to get everything directed at us from every direction on every topic. But one thing that we get quite often in my office is explain the role of the American Job Centers in each of our communities, and what do they do, and how they play into workforce development and connecting people with jobs.
So absolutely. Let me high level, and then we get very practical. High level is American Job Centers are funded federally, and they're the federal, what's called the public workforce system. And there's American Job Centers in every state in the union. From a practical, real standpoint, those are one-stop shops if you want to find work. There are special programs for veterans. There are special programs including training, funding for folks who are below a certain income level. But with all those nuances, if you would like to have a job, if you want a job, and everything from resume writing to connecting with the career fair, those are the places for you to go or to connect with. We work with employers who hire out of the American Job Centers all the time. And so that is, just Mayor, in a sentence, that's your one-stop shop to go and find employment. Those used to be called the Unemployment Insurance Office.
Right.
And the rebranding effort is it's an ongoing process. But really what those are the employment office.
And that's what we try to explain to people. You know, they call and says, where's the unemployment office or employment office? And I said, well, technically we don't have those anymore. It is the American Job Centers, and this is the number, and this is the contact person, and this is what they can help you with. So, you know, that is, you know, a place that we do direct people to. And I know a lot of people become frustrated because a lot of federal offices, state offices have been shut down, and a lot of colleges and college campuses have been shut down, and the American Job Center was in the Robotics Center, and now it's in the TCAT Center. And it was in the Chamber of Commerce at one time as well. So we've had to move it around a little bit to accommodate the needs of our population here, but it has been successful. Of course, I work closely with Becky Hall out of the Cookeville office for workforce, and she's been a godsend, as I've explained to you before, in helping us locally with many projects, funding some of our instruction at the jail, expanding some of our workforce development programs locally, and then helping us to get the Displaced Worker Grant as well. So we are very grateful for the role the Department of Labor and Workforce Development plays in our community. I know employment numbers are all over the place for different counties. What trends do you see in employment and labor markets, and where are the biggest needs going to be moving forward as the economy rebounds?
So you're right, they are different across the state, but a couple of encouraging signs for us. We have come down from 15.5% unemployment, which was a historical high, and our last numbers for November were 5.3, so over a 10-point drop. Even more positive or more encouraging, I would say, is our labor participation rate is up, and in short, that is the number of people who are actually either have a job or looking for work. It's as high as it's ever been, and so we have a lot of people wanting to engage in work, which is a very, very good thing. The piece, the most disruption, not surprisingly, has been in the service industry, and any time where people interact with people in our health crisis, of course, we've tried to limit that, and that's had economic consequences as well. And so those industries have been disrupted. But for years, you sort of look for the opportunity within the calamity. And for years, we've been working to move some of those folks in those service industries on the lower wage end to higher paying jobs, whether it be in IT or manufacturing or whatever the case may be. And now we truly, with this disruption, have the opportunity to help make that change. And so on the higher paying, skill level jobs, that is where our strategy to move folks to those jobs wherever they may be. And the really quick question is, well, they don't have the skills necessarily, and really quickly, that's where the apprenticeship program comes in. You think of apprenticeship programs being within manufacturing, probably, mostly, but we have apprenticeship programs in service industry. Matter of fact, we just have a wastewater technician apprenticeship program that we just entered. But we have apprenticeship programs in IT. We have apprenticeship programs. I believe there's one in accounting. And so what that allows you to do is take somebody who just has a willingness to work and pay them as they develop those skills that is going to be necessary to reach what's called a journeyman level, which means you're very competent in your job. And so as you gain that ability to be competent in your job, you're getting paid along the way as you increase your skills. And so that movement, that transition from industries that have been severely impacted to ones that are fairly healthy is really, if I said there was no silver bullet, but from an overall standpoint, that is really getting at the root cause of what our issues are, and that's our focus at the department to help make and actually expedite those transitions across the state. But what we can do is provide the partnerships and the ability to do that. The execution, as you know, Mayor, happens at the county level, which is why we need the relationships we have with mayors like we have with you.
And like I said, we appreciate all the effort that it's been made to kind of help us along this journey, and we've been quite successful with it, and we have plans to keep moving forward as we have discussed about partnerships with our TCAT and our school systems and with inmate training and reducing recidivism. I know the governor is really big on criminal justice reform and reintroducing productive workers back into the labor market after training and after being incarcerated is a way to restore families, to keep people off welfare rolls, and to keep that recidivism rate down across the state. So we realize that what we've been doing in the past has not worked, and so a whole new concept, a whole new philosophy about investing in people in order for us to have a better workforce in the future. So do you see, as this shutdown and the way things have evolved and office operations have had to be adjusted and more people working from home, how do you see all this playing out in future labor trends of this new gig economy that's ever evolving with the dependence upon technology?
That is going to be interesting to see. I think what has happened is we were moving towards that way of work anyway, and what has happened is it's accelerated. And I don't see us going back to the way we were. And what seems to have happened in the interim is, as opposed to going out for lunch, like a lunch crowd at a local restaurant, people are starting to spend money on durable goods because they're at home. And so whether or not, how far back we go to the way it used to be as opposed to where we are now is I would just be guessing, but I don't see us going back all the way, that's for sure. And so the gas station that you pass every day on your way into work, or the donut shop that you grab, quick breakfast that you would have, those sorts of things may be in transition as well, just because you don't have the traffic, literally and figuratively, that you used to have. And so obviously from a labor standpoint, just getting more tech savvy in the rural communities, it may mean it might be a very positive thing where folks who used to have to be in and around metropolitan areas no longer have to be there. And talent, business is always going to be looking for talent, and talent can be found farther away than it ever has before. And so we'll keep an eye on that, both as threats and opportunities for the state of Tennessee. But I would encourage especially rural counties, to keep their ear to the ground and continue to look for those kind of opportunities, because I think that remote working opportunity is going to be greater than it ever has. And to market your ability and your people in participating in that, I think as we move forward is something that might be probably very good to build a strategy around.
Well, we are blessed, not just because I'm here at Bltv, but we have a great partner in technology and offering Wi-Fi and gig capability across the city of McMinnville. And so a lot of people have found with the expansion of Wi-Fi across the county and the expansion of fiber networks that more and more people may choose to come to rural communities like ours to work remotely. So we're already seeing it. We've had a record number of properties exchange hands and deeds to be recorded. I saw on the news today that Tennessee is one of the top states that people are moving to in the nation. So evidently people see promise in what we're doing and see hope for the future and are willing to come here and invest here moving forward. So that's a blessing in itself as well. From a local community standpoint, in what we've been doing over the course of the last few years, what can Warren County do better, or what can we do to help the Department of Labor, or where do we need to be moving toward looking in this next year ahead?
Well, I'm not saying this just because we're on the phone together, but your Warren County and with your leadership has been a great partner, and we will, as we move forward and as we look at things like the working remotely, and as we know the technical skills are going to be the ones that are most marketable and the ones that someone can earn a living with for the foreseeable future, just continuing to develop that like you already have been in Warren County. And quite frankly, the conversations that we have with Warren County, and you and I specifically, just need to continue, because there is not a crystal ball necessarily, and so we need to have the conversations, both Warren County telling Department of Labor and Workforce Development insights that they have and vice versa, so that we can move forward together. So, Mayor, I wish I had a better answer, but what I will say is just more of the same that we've established over the last couple of years.
And we thank you, because it has been a great partnership. We've seen the progress and the gains, and the future looks bright despite the pandemic that we've been handed. And we keep forging ahead with our strategic plans and diversification of our economy and looking toward technology as future. So we're doing all of that, and we appreciate your support. Do you want to end with any final words or any words of encouragement moving forward?
Yes, sir, I do. So you can't be steadfast unless there's a little trouble. Otherwise, you're just coasting. And I greatly appreciate and I'm amazed by actually all Tennessee and how steadfast they've been as we walk through. I really believe, and I think people are starting to come to believe, that we're getting through this thing. It seems like we're through, and then something else happens. Seems like we're through, and something else happens. But I really believe as we walk forward, we're getting through. And I think we're going to come out, actually I know we're going to come out better on the far side of this than we even did when we went in, both as a state and as people. And so I think we need to continue to keep our chins up, continue to put our arm around each other, to continue to encourage, and continue to work. And that recipe will take us to a better place. And so with that, I'll say that, and I do want to say again, because we talk about this all the time, Mayor, that's the kind of thing that you're about, and the kind of thing I truly appreciate you for. And so I'll just leave you with that.
All right. Thank you, sir. And as always, we'll stay in touch and keep our lines of communication open. And the governor knows I call or text or message him nearly every day, or his office every day, about something. So we will continue on this journey. We appreciate all the efforts of Department of Labor and Workforce Development, and your leadership over the last few years has been amazing, and we appreciate all that you've done. And moving forward, we will continue on the progress that we have made thus far. So thank you very much. You have a great day. Stay safe and stay well.
Yes, sir. You do the same.
Today also joining us with Bltv will be Dale Humphrey, the CEO of River Park St. Thomas Ascension, and then we will have Mayor Ryle Chastain from the city of McMinnville.
Thank you, Executive Haley, and good morning, Warren County. Sort of a run through our numbers as we currently stand. The United States now has over 24 million cases and is quickly approaching 400,000 deaths. Tennessee now has over 687,000 cases in our state and over 8,400 deaths. COVID-19 continues to cause deaths in patients in every age group, and as a state we have performed over 6 million tests. Our current positivity rate is around 15%. The number of hospitalizations in Tennessee continues a downward trend, thankfully, from its peak of 3,344 patients on January 6th to 2,647 patients currently hospitalized. The number of patients in the ICU is also down slightly from its highest point on January 5th of 798 patients to its current total of 676 COVID-positive patients in ICUs. Warren County itself stands at 4,987 cases, and we have had 53 deaths. Warren County has had around 32,000 tests performed, and our positivity rate remains higher than the state average at 20%, or 1 in every 5 people being tested are positive. However, thankfully, this is down from just last week, which was 25%. Hopefully, we will continue to see these numbers trending downward. At St. Thomas River Park over the last 7 days, we have averaged 20 COVID-19 positive patients hospitalized per day and had an average of 7 ICU COVID positive patients per day. So even though the spread of the virus is currently decreasing, we are still seeing the acutely ill patients, and now have had 20 patients in St. Thomas River Park Hospital expire from COVID-19. We continue to offer monoclonal antibody infusions for outpatients who are within 3 days of testing positive. That helps the body's immune system clear the virus sooner and prevents many hospitalizations we otherwise would have had. River Park has now given over 200 of these infusions, and for patients who may qualify, instructions of how your primary care physician can order these tests have been given to all of our local physicians. River Park has vaccinated around 200 of our associates and physicians with the Moderna vaccine and has started vaccinating high-risk patients in the community. We expect to receive more vaccines this week, and we will start giving second rounds of the vaccination. Please follow the masking, distancing, and hand hygiene rules and do your part to get us beyond this pandemic. Thank you for your attention. God bless you and our community. And now we will introduce City Mayor Ryle Chastain. Thank you.
Thank you, Dale. Fellow McMinnvillians, the City of McMinnville continues to heed advice given by local, state, and federal health officials. City offices are currently open to the public, but all those needing entry to city facilities must be screened and have on a mask. I wanted to make some clarifications regarding the City of McMinnville and its relationship to the Warren County Health Department. I have received many calls in recent days wanting to know why the city does not do more to ensure that adequate doses of the coronavirus vaccine are received for our residents. The City of McMinnville is in no way affiliated with the Warren County Health Department. It is overseen, funded, and managed by county administration and the state of Tennessee. As city mayor, I have no authority or association whatsoever with the department itself. In regards to when the coronavirus vaccine may be available to you, I recommend you keep in touch with the health department, your pharmacy, and your primary care provider. These parties will be able to best provide the most accurate information to you. Also, in the coming weeks, as Dale said, River Park Hospital will have limited doses available to the public. I understand there are many out there diligently waiting to be vaccinated, but I wanted to make clear that the City of McMinnville has no authority or association whatsoever with the local health department here. Our regularly scheduled city board meetings will be held again at City Hall beginning on January 26th. The public is welcome to attend these meetings provided they follow the previously mentioned criteria for entry to city facilities. Options will also be available to Zoom into the meetings, and they will be streamed live on Facebook and YouTube. We expect the Civic Center renovation to be completed by mid-February. By the end of March, we hope to have all operations moved out of City Hall or Three Star Mall and into the renovated facility. A date and time for a grand reopening is forthcoming. Work continues on the Center Street water projects, and all efforts are being made to ensure that there are no interruptions to water and sewer services while this project takes place. By spring, our downtown Wi-Fi project should be complete, thereby providing complimentary internet connection points from the Magnus Library to the fire department as well as the Farmers Market Pavilion. Registration for spring and summer sports begins soon. In closing, I ask that all residents of McMinnville and Warren County continue to work together for one another under these undesirable circumstances with mask mandates and social distancing. Only by working together will we see an end to it all. I encourage anyone needing further information regarding COVID or city operations to reach out to me personally or to contact City Hall. Thank you and God bless. I would like to welcome back to the podium County Mayor Jimmy Haley for closing remarks.
I want to thank our guests today. Mr. Swallows was going to join us today. It's the first day back at school, and so we have great expectations about our children back in that learning module. Plus also, the state of Tennessee begins a special session today. The governor does and Commissioner Swin about education moving forward and how we're going to regain some of our losses that we've had in test scores and learning over the last 10 months, 11 months of the COVID pandemic. As county executive, my orders for emergency purposes are still in place. We do expect Governor Lee to extend executive orders as well into March to reflect what Justice Bivens did for the court system moving forward. In the meantime, our county operations remain the same. Our offices are open Monday through Thursday with public access. There will be screening. Fridays, you still have access as well. You can call the offices, make appointments. Each office handles it a little bit differently, but please call those offices to make sure that what you need and what can be accomplished by that office through a phone call or through a drive-through operation. Lisa Scott's drive-through is still open Monday through Friday during regular business hours. We hope within the next couple of months to also get a drive-through for our trustee's office to accommodate those who wish to make tax payments. There are challenges ahead, as we know, and our commission will be meeting tonight in a regular session where we'll be addressing some issues related to employee COVID benefits and payments. And so we've been moving forward with that. Our employees have had to shift around. Many offices had to be shut down. We've had many employees sick over the last few months, but we have continued every service and to operate as effectively as we possibly could. Vaccines are here. So once again, the health department is taking care of most of those vaccine and inoculations, but there has been some rollouts through Walgreens and CVS to nursing homes, extended care facilities, and the hospitals have also received those vaccines for the rollout. And so if you need questions answered about the vaccine and which phase that we are in, you can go to the Warren County TN .gov website, and my webpage explains what you need to do to sign up for the vaccines. There is a waiting list, and unfortunately, we never know when the vaccines are coming in and what the volume is going to be, but our health department is working as diligently as it possibly can to get as many people inoculated, and we do have a second dose shipment that has arrived, and so we hope that each and every person who got the first vaccine will be able to get the second vaccine when they call you in from the health department to receive those. And so it's been a work in progress and sometimes a moving target, because at the same time, we're still doing COVID testing at the health department Monday through Friday. Monday, Wednesday, Friday are the self-tests. Tuesday, Thursday, there'll be health officials and guardsmen there helping to assist people in taking the tests themselves. So please be patient. Please wait for the call. If you have not signed up or want to be on that waiting list, if you'll call the health department at 931-473-8468, someone will get back with you, or you can go online and register as well through that link to my county executive webpage. We all know there's new mutated viruses that look to be more contagious than the original virus was. But this is a novel virus, which means new. It's ever evolving, it's ever changing. We have promised that this vaccine that's being out, whatever variety it is, Pfizer, Moderna, and others, that the vaccine will give protection against these mutated strains of the virus thus far. And so that gives us great hope. The more people we get vaccinated, the sooner we return to normal. In the meantime, we can't let our guard down. If we're going to keep our kids in school, our economy open, our government operations flowing, and our communities safe and secure, once again, we must all work together. We have to respect the CDC guidelines and health requirements of each and every person. One of the reasons the flu season has not been so bad this year is because people are washing their hands and wearing the mask, and more people did get the flu shots. That in itself shows promise. But still wear your mask, social distance, avoid those spreader events, use good personal hygiene, and please respect the health and welfare of others. That's the least we can do as a community. As we know, we're not sure what changes are going to be coming from Washington and the new administration. We think there'll be additional stimulus support, expanded health care options, a rollout of more vaccines, new job programs, particularly with rebuilding America's infrastructure, somewhat like the New Deal has been discussed, and a big focus on education moving forward. The governor will be delivering his State of the State address soon, where he's going to unveil his priorities within the next year as part of his administrative duties. There'll be workforce development, particularly in career and CTE education. Education in itself will be a major focus, criminal justice reform, and rebuilding Tennessee's economy with a big emphasis upon tourism moving forward. In the meantime, the County Commission will meet tonight via Zoom. You can go on the county's website. If you want to watch it, will be YouTubed. Right now, I can promise you that county finances are good. Despite the pandemic, our tax collections are up, sales tax collections are up. Our employment numbers tend to be fairly steady. I will be delivering my State of the County address tonight during that meeting, where we'll be celebrating the huge strides that we've made over the last 2 years. We're more financially sound than we've been in previous budgets despite the pandemic. We'll be focusing on government efficiency and cutting costs, expanding our tax base with new construction and development, building high-paying jobs across our community in partnership with the state and Department of Labor, and investing in education. As we all know, kids are the best investment we can make as a community. It's the only future that we have. And so to keep our talent here, to keep our kids here, we've got to have the good paying jobs and a community that embraces that. Warren County isn't within the next growth circle outside of Nashville. That's hard to believe. When I was growing up or whatever, Murfreesboro was a sleepy little town, and their mall was not much different from ours. And you see, in 20 to 30 years, how the boom from Middle Tennessee has expanded. Warren County is blessed. We're right here in the corridor, the triangle between Knoxville, Nashville, and Chattanooga. We're already a hub almost of what's going on in Cookeville today as well. You've seen the growth there. We're also blessed that we have a 4-lane connecting I-24 and I-40. We have an airport. We have a rail system. We have partnerships developed across our community with all of our players, with the Chamber, with Main Street, with the IDB, with BRAC. So we are moving forward. We are building those jobs. Tourism is the second biggest industry in Tennessee. We have a tourism development board within the city that works across the community to promote each and every attraction that we have here. And even though the entertainment industry has suffered during this pandemic, local tourism, people coming from Nashville on day trips or weekend trips to our national parks and hiking our trails is more than it's ever been. So it has been a godsend that we have these natural resources available for Tennesseans just a few hours drive away can come and enjoy along with us. We will continue our partnerships and collaborative projects with state and federal agencies. Those have proven successful. As Commissioner McCORD has said earlier, over the last year, Warren County has received over $2 million in grants and funding opportunities over our last year, and those will be earmarked and targeted toward capital improvement projects and improving government effective programs. A shout out to all of our support agencies, our development district, the UCHRA, the Chamber, Main Street, the IDB, Tourism Development Board, all of our satellite agencies that are out there with feeding programs, our school system, all of our departments across both city and county. We've done a phenomenal job over these last 10 or 11 months despite the challenges. In the meantime, we got to realize that government cannot do everything. These partnerships and support of these agencies that operate within the framework of government but are independent and operate separately, whether it be the Senior Center, whether it be Families in Crisis, all of these agencies play a huge part in our success. And it's collaborative, it's partnerships. We all work together. So with each and every day that we move forward as a community, as a state and as a nation, and as a world, we realize that sometimes these crises give great opportunities. Opportunities for growth, opportunities to reflect, opportunities to move ahead with a different mindset, with an emphasis on those things that are important. In the meantime, we'll be praying for a peaceful transition, a power tomorrow across our nation. I don't think anyone endorses violence, but we all support First Amendment rights and peaceful assembly. Some recent events have been disturbing. So as we lift up our nation and support our men and women in uniform protecting this country all around the world, both home and abroad, don't be afraid to see what you see, or hear what you hear, or witness what you witness. In our quest for democratic principles and preserving the honor of freedom and to be a symbol across the world, and all those governances that basically make America what it is, from the federal to the state to the local level, we still remain the greatest country in the world. We are a symbol of justice and freedom and opportunity, and have been for 200 plus years of our history. So I want to leave you with a quote from Ronald Reagan. It says, "Peace is not the absence of conflict. It is the ability to handle conflict by peaceful means." Stay well, stay safe. God bless America. We are Warren strong.